How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Wi-Fi battle. Today we're in a battle versus Chris, also known as Cloud, from the Discord server in the OU tier. Go ahead and join the Discord server. It's the best place to go for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Wi-Fi battles right now. There is a link in the description down below. And friendly reminders, drop a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. We're on our way to 20k by the end of the year, and I'd love for you to be a part of that journey. So looking at the team, they got Blaziken, which is a big threat, Ogerpon, Wellspring, which is a massive threat. Gholdengo is always a pain to deal with, but I'm looking at this matchup and I'm thinking Darkrai actually does some work. If we can get rid of that Ribombay and the Blaziken, then Darkrai actually goes pretty well here. So I want to get my Stealth Rocks up, and I also want to lead with Sandy Shocks anyway, because I think it does pretty well. They more than likely lead with the Ribombay, so I'd rather lead with something that's an electric type that can't get stun spored. And the battle begins. Good luck, have fun, Cloud. So they're going to lead off with Ribombay. Nice and shiny, gotta love it, as we lead off with our Sandy Shocks. So, not a bad matchup, not the best matchup either. They probably go for Sticky Webs here, so I'm going to get my Stealth Rocks up right now. There's the Sticky Webs coming through, like so. We get our Stealth Rocks up as well, which is amazing. And then I think what I'm going to do is, I'm going to preserve my Sandy Shocks Focus Sash, because it could come in handy with the Earth Power against that Blaziken later. So what I'm going to do instead is, I'm going to go into Corviknight. Now, the reason I'm going to Corviknight is because Corviknight kind of stops them from going into Great Tusk to get rid of the Stealth Rocks. And even if they do go, like for example, if they withdrew the Ribombay now and went into the Great Tusk on the Switch, which they haven't, they've gone for a Moonblast, we can just eat out like it's nothing with Corviknight as well. So now we can go for a Brave Bird, and Brave Bird pretty much hits everything on the team. So I'm going to go for it. They do withdraw Ribombay. The only thing it doesn't hit is the Gholdengo, pretty much. They do go into the Gholdengo, which is absolutely fine by me. Can't really touch us. Stealth Rock's going to dig in, and we get a nice and powerful slow U-turn off the next turn. So we're going to go for a Brave Bird, break that Air Balloon. Now it's susceptible to ground type attacks, so my Hitmonchan can actually touch it now, which is what I wanted. They probably go for a Nasty Plot here, if I had to guess, or a Recover. So I'm going to go for a U-turn. They do go for a Nasty Plot, which is terrifying, to say the least. Now, I'm looking at this matchup and I'm thinking, do you know who isn't really doing much for us this game? Hitmonchan. So what I'm going to do is, my Assault Vest Hitmonchan can definitely take a Make It Rain from this thing. That's for sure. Can definitely take a Make It Rain, I believe. And then we can go for an EQ and hopefully get the KO on it. Alternatively, we could go into Sandy Shocks now, but they have got the Sticky Webs up, so it's a bit of a predicament. I think my best bet is going to be to go into my Darkrai, because we've got the heavy duty boots, so we don't care about the Sticky Webs. So we'll go into Darkrai. I was thinking Hitmonchan could take a hit, but I kind of want to save it for later, just in case we need it. So I'm going to go for a Dark Pulse right now. They may Terra, but I think it's more... No, they are going to Terra. Now, you usually see Terra Steel on these. So if it's Terra Steel, there is a good chance that we'll either A, flinch them, or B, just outright KO them. But they are actually Terra Fighting, which is terrifying to my Darkrai. So Darkrai is going to go for a Dark Pulse, which is nice. If we get a flinch, that'd be nice. They go for a Terra Blaster, which is definitely going to KO Darkrai after a Nasty Plot. As down it goes. Look at that go, watch. Yep. No way was Darkrai taking that hit. So Gholdengo coming through for my opponent with the Terra Fighting. But now... they are susceptible to a few things. So, for example, we could go into our Rillaboom and Grassy Glide right now. We are Choice Banded as well. And the thing about Rillaboom is that other than the Gholdengo and the Blaziken, Grassy Glide does a lot of damage to their team. You know, Ogerpon, Wellspring's not going to appreciate it. Great Tusk is going to appreciate it. Ribombay probably gets 2-hit KO by it because it's frail. We go for a Grassy Glide here 100% though, just to KO the Gholdengo, I think. They do withdraw the Gholdengo. What are they going to go into to take a Grassy Glide though? Probably the Slowking, right? Slowking comes in. So Slowking is in. Nice and not shiny with that green gem on its head. We're going to get some stones dug into it, and then we go for a Grassy Glide, which actually does a lot of damage thanks to a critical hit. So that's not too bad. Unfortunately, the grassy terrain is going to recover their health. And it looks like they've got leftovers over Black Sludge as well. So I obviously can't stay in here. What I'm going to have to do is, I'm going to have to go out and switch out. So I think the best thing for me to switch out into is going to be the Hitmonchan. Now hear me out, because they probably go for a Future Sight, right? Well, the reason I'm going to Hitmonchan is because I can... Wait, no, Earthquake gets halved in power, doesn't it? I just realized I've made a terrible mistake here. So we'll go into Little Mac anyway. They may be thinking we're going to go for a Rapid Spin. They go for a Flamethrower instead of Future Sight. Fair enough. We're going to eat that up like it's nothing. We're going to get all our health restored. Pretty much, but not really, from the grassy terrain. And that grassy terrain is actually like hurting us a little bit because now my Earthquake's at half power and I just completely forgot all about that. I really forgot all about that. So I might have to make a switch out again. I know I'm switching a lot. Blah, 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 blah. You said it. You said it. You said it. You just said it. So what can we do here? I'm leaning towards the Milotic switch. I think I will go Milotic switch because I don't... I just can't believe I completely forgot about grassy terrain. It's one of them weird effects though on grassy terrain. Why is it half Earthquake's power? It doesn't make any sense at all. Makes no sense. But anyway, Milotic comes in, we get a Sticky Web, and then obviously we've got Competitve, which is going to boost our special attack to sky high levels. They go for a Future Sight now. And now, there isn't really a lot on their team that wants to take a Scold, other than the Ogerpon Wellspring form, which we could Ice Beam if we want to predict. If we really want to predict. I think I will Ice Beam just to predict it. Let's go for it. They go ahead and stay in. They're probably going for a Chilly Reception. That's probably why. And they go for a Chilly Reception, so that's fair enough. So I was kind of hoping they'd hard switch out there on the with the Ogerpon to try and get the Scold, but obviously that's not happened, so I should have really gone for a Scold there. Anyway, they definitely bring in the Ogerpon here, right? Ogerpon comes on in. Amazing. So this thing is a threat. Horn Leech is definitely going to do a lot of damage to us. I could sit here and Terra Fairy Ice Beam, just take a little bit less damage from the Horn Leech, or I could just go into Corviknight. The Sticky Webs aren't going anywhere, so I may as well just go to Corviknight, to be honest with you. So I'm going to go to Corviknight on the Ogerpon. I think that's probably the best thing for me to do. So we'll bring in Noctis real quick, and then we'll go for a slow U-turn on it. That's pretty much all I can think to do. So they go for a Swords Dance. That just turned terrifying all of a sudden. So we take the Future Sight attack, which is going to do a bit of damage to us. I don't know whether we can take a Ivy Cudgel from this thing at +2. The grass disappears though, which is great. I'm going to have to go for the KO. So they go for the Ivy Cudgel. Hopefully we can live. And Corviknight lets me down once again. So that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And unfortunately, Ivy Cudgel isn't a contact move, so they don't get any Rocky Helmet damage. Bet you didn't know that, did you? I bet you probably did. Right. So, what do we do here? We've got a couple of options. I think Rillaboom is one of the best options, so I'm going to go into Rillaboom real quick. Like so. Going to get caught in the Sticky Webs, which is always fine and dandy. And then we're going to get that Grassy Surge up. So what can they do really to KO me? Both their stabs are resisted. I think my best bet is to go for a U-turn right now. It should KO the Ogerpon. They withdraw the Ogerpon, which is a good play. Don't want to get that KO just yet. I think Rillaboom is going to be the MVP of this game. So they go into Slowking. Once again, Slowking comes in to take the hit. We go for a U-turn though, giving us some momentum, do some damage to the Slowking, and then all we need to do is bring in another Pokemon to take out this thing. So I'm not going to go Hitmonchan again because Earthquake's halved in power. Duh, Jack, remember that. I'm going to have to go Sandy Shocks. So Sandy Shock is going to come in, which is always fine and dandy. Dandy Shocks. Get hit by the Sticky Webs, which is fine. We still outspeed the Glorian Slowking, no problems there. And looking at the matchup, I'd say we have to go for an Earth Power. Earth Power should do a lot of damage to pretty much anything that comes in, except from that Ogerpon. So, let's go for a Earth Power. They do stay in. They probably go for a Chilly Reception here, but they get KO'd by the Earth Power. Not even a critical hit. And Sandy Shocks is putting in the work all of a sudden. So there we go. In comes Ogerpon. And now the great thing is that not a lot wants to face up against the Rillaboom now, other than the Blaziken, and that's about it. So we know this thing's going to have all sorts to hit us with. I am going to go into the Rillaboom right now because I'm expecting them to either Swords Dance or just straight up Ivy Cudgel on us. So we'll bring in Cadbury, the Rillaboom, real quick. There we go. Gets caught in the Sticky Webs, doesn't really matter too much. And they go for a Horn Leech, which is going to be boosted in power thanks to the Grassy Terrain, but it's not enough to get the KO. Gets a crit as well. That was a crit damage in Grassy Terrain. That's great for us. Absolutely fantastic for us. So, we know we don't need to outspeed here. All we need to do is go for a Wood Hammer. The reason I'm going to go for a Wood Hammer over a Grassy Glide is because A, it'll do more damage to the Blaziken and the Ribombay if they switch them in. B, they'll definitely KO the Great Tusk. Let's go for the Wood Hammer and find out. So they go for another Horn Leech, which is going to do a bit of damage to us. But Wood Hammer should definitely take this thing out right now. As down goes the Ogerpon. Will the Recoil take us out, though? That's the real question. It does. So Rillaboom goes down, but it was worth it for the Ogerpon to go down as well. So now what we've got to rely on is the combination of Sandy Shocks and Hitmonchan and Milotic. So I'm going to go Milotic because it pairs really well against their team. So they're going to go into Blaziken, which is terrifying. It's nice and shiny, though. Gotta love it. We go into our Milotic, which is... So it's Gen 3 versus Gen 3 right now. Also nice and shiny. So we're going to get a nice boost from the Sticky Webs, because it's going to lower our speed, but Competitve is going to boost our special attack in the process. Which means now we are hitting extremely hard with Milotic, and they can't Terra. So let's go for a... let's go for... Do we go Terra Fairy? We go Terra Fairy so that we can resist the close combat right now. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We go for a big Terra Fairy right now. Absolutely fantastic for us, because it's going to mean we can resist the close combat from the Great Tusk as well if we have close combat. Resist the Terra Blast fighting from the Goldengo, but Make It Rain is going to be super effective against us. They go for a close combat though. That's going to bounce right off us, no doubt. And that has got to be Choice Banded damage. Or something like that. Surely that's Choice Banded damage. Life Orb. That was Life Orb? Anyway, Skull's going to take this Blaziken out, no problem. As down it goes, down it goes. Milotic sitting on top right now. Alright, in comes Goldengo. So Goldengo's probably going to go for a Make It Rain right off the bat, because we can go for a Skull and KO them, no problem. So I think they have to. We just go into Sandy Shocks right now. And Sandy Shocks after Sticky Webs should still KO the Goldengo, I believe. So let's see how this plays out for us. So we get caught in Sticky Webs, as I said, lowering our speed a bit, but I think this might be a Goldengo with a bit of bulk to it, to be honest with you. So Make It Rain comes through, it does diddly squat, lowers their special attack, which is what we like to see. We now go for an Earth Power, because we know we can take this Goldengo out of an Earth Power. They may go Great Tusk, or they may go Ribombe, I'm not sure which. Great Tusk is the choice. In a Master Ball as well, nice. So we go for an Earth Power, it should do a lot of damage. Does over half, which is great. And depending on the set that they are, they're not booster energy, so they must be like a defensive set, maybe Rocky Helmet. Let's go for another Earth Power, we should outspeed here. We don't. Okay, fair enough, we don't outspeed. As Great Tusk takes us out of an Earthquake, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. And dandy. We can do something here. So I'm going to go back into Milotic. I'm going to get that Competitve boost once again. And effectively, they have to let me take out their Great Tusk right now, or they lose their Ribombe / Goldengo. But this Earthquake is going to sting. It's still going to sting quite a bit. Let's go for a Scold and find out. They go for an EQ. Are they banded or something? No, they won't be banded, because if they were banded, they'd have Headlong Rush. Scold takes out the Tusk anyway, which is fine by me. It's all going to come down to Hitmonchan again, but Milotic's the one that's done the most this game, I think, for our team. Definitely the one that's done the most for our team. So let's see how this plays out. Alright, in comes the Goldengo. Goldengo. Goldengo comes in. It's going to get hit by the Stealth Rocks. We go for a Skull, just in case. But they do go for a Shadow Ball. Now, we actually may live this. We do live this. They should have gone for the Make It Rain, but they didn't want to lower their special attack for the Hitmonchan. That's what they're going for. So, Goldengo does go down to that, and I'm thinking maybe they thought we were physically defensive, but no, we're specially defensive. We Shadow Balls every single day of the week. Alright, Ribombe comes in, their last Pokemon on the field. Nice and shiny. I do love shiny Ribombe. I love this little scarf that's got on it. So, obviously we go down to a Moonblast here. So let's go for a Skull just in case, but there's the Moonblast. It's all going to come down to whether Hitmonchan can take this thing out with a Bullet Punch or not. That's what it's going to come down to. And if it doesn't take it out with a Bullet Punch, it all comes down to whether Hitmonchan can take a Moonblast or not. So we'll go into Little Mac real quick, the Hitmonchan. There we go. We're going to get caught in some Sticky Webs, not that it matters because we've got priority. And then we go for a Bullet Punch real quick. Bullet Punch should do a lot of damage, might not KO though. As it doesn't quite get the KO. Can we live a Moonblast though with the Assault Vest? We can indeed. As we go for a final Bullet Punch right now. taking out the Ribombe, and we just barely won that game. So GG Cloud, brilliant game, brilliant team, very well played by my opponent right there, GG. But anyway, here is the team. Try it out if you want to use the code at the top right corner of the screen. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, of course, leave a like, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. And with that being said, I'll see you all in a bit.